Art History Online presents Why did Van Gogh cut off his ear? Vincent van Gogh is famous for his many amazing paintings, but also for his troubled life. It is known that Van Gogh cut off his left ear. There exist many speculative stories and research on the ear incident. But did Van Gogh cut off the entire ear, and why did he? To answer these questions, let's go back to the beginning of 1888, when Van Gogh moved to Arles, a city in the south of France. In Arles, he lived in his famous yellow house. Inspired by the landscape, the colors, the light and the locals, he made many paintings, for example his famous The Starry Night over the Rhone, the sunflowers, the night café, and the Red Vineyard, probably the only painting he ever sold. Through his brother Theo, an art dealer, he got to know painter Paul Gauguin. After some convincing, in October 1888, Gauguin moved to Arles to join Van Gogh in his yellow house. Gauguin and Van Gogh happily worked and lived together, but after a few months they were constantly fighting and things got out of hand. As a result, in December of that year, Gauguin thought about going back to Paris. On December 23rd, Van Gogh confronted Gauguin about his plans and started a fight. What happened then is debated. There are several versions of the story. A news article of the next day states, "Yesterday evening, a person called Vincent, an artist-painter from Holland, after cutting an ear with a razor, went and rang at the door of a house of ill repute and gave his ear folded in a piece of paper to the person who answered, saying, 'Take it, it will be useful.' He then left. The police searched for this individual and found him lying in his house. His very serious condition necessitated his transfer to the hospital." This house of ill repute probably was the brothel he and Gauguin visited frequently. In short, most scholars state that Van Gogh had a psychotic episode, during which he threatened Gauguin with a razor, but later cuts off his own left earlobe. After the incident, he didn't remember much, and he was placed in an asylum. This theory is supported by Gauguin's statements. Van Gogh demanded to know if Gauguin was going to leave Arles while confronting him with a razor. Gauguin's positive answer upset Van Gogh, after which he disappeared. Gauguin left the yellow house as well, because of his friend's disturbing behavior, and stayed the following night in a hotel. The next day Gauguin finds out that Van Gogh bled profusely. He informs Theo, but never sees Vincent van Gogh again. Gauguin later implied that the wrapped ear was a souvenir meant for him. After the ear incident, the hospital diagnosed Van Gogh with generalized delirium. He heard voices and was extremely depressed. After the hospital, he was committed to the asylum in Saint-Rémy. Correspondence with family shows that Van Gogh's mental state was troubled and psychotic since several years. From 1880, his father wanted to commit him to a mental institution. But there are different versions of the story. Some state that the fight was about the local barmaid they were both in love with. During this fight, Van Gogh accidentally cut himself instead of Gauguin. It is also said that he intentionally cut off his ear, because the continuous tinnitus drove him mad. In 2008, another theory, based on police reports, witness statements, and letters of both painters, is published. These German scholars agree with the common story that the fight started with Gauguin's intention of leaving Arles. The angry Van Gogh followed Gauguin into the streets. But they think that Gauguin is the one who attacked Van Gogh, and that Gauguin cut off Van Gogh's ear with a razor. After this incident, both artists agreed to keep it a secret, to prevent the prosecution of Gauguin, and to retain their friendship. The German scholars back their theory with the last letter Van Gogh sent to Gauguin. He wrote, "You are silent, I will be too." The scholars of the Van Gogh Museum reject this theory, because they think the evidence the German scholars used to plead their case are taken out of their context. In conclusion, we can say it appears that a fight between Van Gogh and Gauguin about the latter leaving Arles was the final event to drive Van Gogh over the edge. But the ear incident was mainly a result of Van Gogh's poor physical and mental health. Van Gogh probably had syphilis and lead poisoning. He also drank a lot of absinthe. This popular but unhealthy drink caused hallucinations, and in Van Gogh's case epileptic attacks. He also had psychotic episodes. He was very depressed and suicidal. On the 28th of July 1890, Vincent van Gogh committed suicide by shooting himself in the chest with a revolver. Though at the times he was in a positive mindset, he focused on his work completely and made many great paintings. Thank you for watching this video by Art History Online. If you want to learn more about masterpieces of Western art, please subscribe.